What is going on, Niner fans? How are we feeling? It's Monday. We got some stuff to talk about today. I haven't been live here for a bit. Last week was busy. I'm kind of a workaholic. I ended up working on my day off again today. I got to stop doing it. But we got my main man, Ted, over here. We usually do this on Mondays. How the heck are you feeling, Ted? How we doing?
Raj, I'm just dying to know what the news is. I've been kind of holed up doing all my bike stuff. I started a bike channel called Teddy Talks Bikes. Everybody, please check it out. Give me a like and subscribe, all that stuff. There's some interesting videos. But I don't even know what you're talking about. What's the breaking news, man?
Yeah, honestly, I got to tell you, the Niners, they signed Logan Thomas, tight end, who used to be on the Commanders. They said we've been sitting here for months saying they need a tight end too. Cameron Latu, kind of in the doghouse. Braden Willis, he didn't flash much last year. He had injuries too. They signed a couple of tight ends over the offseason. Sauter, the dude from Denver. They tried to get Brock Wright. It didn't go right. It went wrong. And now here we go. Cameron Latu. What do you think, man? What do you think? Or not Cameron Latu. Sorry.
Logan Thomas.
Logan Thomas.
Yeah.
Is probably going to be tight end too. What do you think?
Raj, just answer me this. Can he block and can he catch?
The 10-year veteran. He can catch pretty dang good. He can block pretty good. I'm sure he's better than Cam Latu, but he's a 10-year vet. And he has all the traits you need in a pretty good tight end. He is a little older. He's 32. But, he's had some injuries here and there. Concussion. He had a knee injury in 2021. But for the last 2 years, he's played 1,400 snaps. Injuries have not been an issue. They needed an upgrade because what do we talk about? George Kittle, he's great. But he might miss a few games during the season. He plays his ass off. So this is a guy that's going to help.
It's more than that, Raj. It's more than that. It's even if Kittle's healthy, we need two tight ends that can block and catch to fully, unleash the weapon that is Kyle's system. And, what is the best friend? We're all worried about tackle, right? We're all worried about McKivitz, a tackle. What's the best friend of a tackle? A tight end who can block outside of him. We got it in Thomas. What's the other best friend? A guard on the other side. And maybe that's Purdy, or for sure, we know that Feliciano is solid at that until Purdy's ready. So I couldn't be more excited, Raj. I've been wanting a tight end who could block and catch since at least 2020, if not longer. And, I wanted it in the draft. We didn't get it. I wanted a tackle in the draft. We didn't get it. But now I'm starting to feel a little bit better about guard and tight end, which makes me feel better about the tackle they're sandwiching.
I think so, too, because this is going to, again, take pressure off of George Kittle, and he could do his thing. And an extra tight end definitely helps with the Kyle Shanahan offense. Now, it's not officially official. They're still working to finalize the deal. That's what Mike Garofalo had reported. But everybody's acting like it's pretty much a done deal. They're probably getting the numbers and figures out. We don't know the exact numbers, but if we remember correctly, a couple weeks ago, when the 49ers were trying to get Brock Wright, they ended up trying to spend like 3-year deal, $12 million, something like that. They were going to spend $4 million on Brock Wright. So I can't imagine it being more than that. This guy's, a little older, so he might have taken a little less money. But the 49ers do have some new salary cap space. If you remember, post June 1st, so yesterday, a couple dollars opened up, a couple dollars. They got about $18 million back from the release of Arik Armstead. And again, it was designated post June 1st. So post June 1st means June 2nd, which was yesterday. And now that opened up $18 million in cap space for the 49ers. So they could spare some dollars here for Logan Thomas.
Some going around money, as they say. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if we paid him as much as maybe even $5 million. The longer the contract, the lower the dollars get. So if we're doing 3 years at $4 million a year for Wright, I could see 1 year at 4 or 5. I'm hoping it's more like 2.5 or 3, but 5 wouldn't upset me too much.
Yeah, my guess, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be a 1-year deal, kind of like get this guy in there, let him help out Kittle for the year. Because I think the biggest issue is they had 2 tight ends they drafted last year, and they haven't panned out yet. And I think there's a lot of pressure for that tight end position. Like we said, they need to get some guy to help out George Kittle. How many more years does George have left? I don't know, but it also takes a toll on his body. He said numerous times after the games he feels like he went through a car wreck. So they need another guy out there. So these younger guys, Latu, he got thrown under the bus by Kyle a few weeks ago. Kyle said, look, because they asked, I can't remember the reporter, but they said, his Cameron Latu, your tight end too, and he goes, no, he needs to show up to practice. He has been come to OTAs. Now, I don't know if he's injured or whatever, but that's not a good sign for Kyle if you can't show up to practice. We talking about practice, and he can't show up. So, again, this guy has all the tools. Probably he's athletic enough. Right now, if I were to look at the roster and had to make a decision, I think he's tight end too, he's pretty good. But, health is key. He needs to be healthy. He needs to come in, learn the offense. 10-year vet. I'm sure he can pick it up pretty fast. And I think I think $3 to $4 million a year is, nothing for him compared for, NFL roster like this with the extra cap space. I mean, it's not nothing for us, but for him, it's probably a good contract. He'll be money motivated to earn it. And we all know the 49ers love to put incentives. So I think it's a good move. I'm going to wait and see what the official, numbers are when they all come out. But I don't think it's going to be break the bank, oh, my God, type signing. But it's going to be a good move. Help the team. The team needed another tight end, and they get another tight end. So I'm happy about it. Any other thoughts on the tight end position? I'm sure you're hyped because we've been waiting for this for months. You have been, especially you've been wanting this. So what is your overall takeaway?
I'm so pumped, Raj. I mean, if he was a little younger, I could be more pumped. But what do you need? 32 is plenty. He's not like he should fall apart at that age. Lots of tight ends play a lot longer than that. I mean, I just am so excited to see what our offense can do, where we can have two tight end sets. And one of them doesn't key up what the play is, because before, if it was Warner, it was a run. And if it was Dwelly, it was a pass. And if Kyle tried to get tricky with it, then you're playing with one arm behind your back, because those guys just couldn't do the other. Dwelly couldn't block and Warner couldn't catch. So
yeah, and that's the thing. And both of those guys aren't back, so they desperately needed a veteran tight end. And again, he's the type of guy that could probably do both of those skill sets. I mean, maybe not like elite at both, but he's good enough to come in and be better than all their other tight ends. And
just don't tip the hand. Don't tip the hand.
Exactly. And I think the last time the 49ers had a tight end this good on the other side of Kittle was the COVID season with Jordan Reed. Like, that was a long time ago. And then he got hurt. And it's crazy, he went to Washington too. So Niners like to take those Washington tight ends, it seems like. And but this guy's been around the league for other teams, not just Washington.
And I will say that Jordan Reed, as good as he was more of a move tight end and wasn't much of a blocker anyway. So if Logan Reed can block pretty well, Logan Thomas, can block pretty well, then he might be better just by that reason alone. That just being equal, balanced in his skills.
Absolutely. I'm going to post a little highlight clip of Logan Thomas. I mean, not a lot, just a couple of plays, so you guys can kind of see his skill set. So this is Logan Thomas.
Allen lobbing it up for the big Thomas, trying to haul it in. What a catch!
Let's check the feet of Thomas out here. Ball, both
drag.
Feet down. You see all the dust.
Four-man rush. The back of the end zone, reaching up.
And if they make it on to the playoffs, he's going to be a big reason why.
Big target, red zone threat, another weapon for Purdy to utilize in that red zone. I love it. He's a big guy. He can go up and get it. Another guy, you got Jennings, you got Thomas, you got Kittle. There's so many weapons now for the 49ers in that red zone. It's nice to have another tall, big threat in that area. So I love it, man. I love the move.
Me too. Couldn't be happier.
Couldn't be happier. Now, a lot of other news has kind of gone on today. We'll get to some other stuff going on. But before we get to it, got to take a moment of silence. Larry Allen, unfortunate, former 49er, obviously a former Cowboy great. But you don't talk about the teams when these things happen. He unfortunately passed away today at the age of 52. Very young. They haven't officially said what happened, but I want to take a moment here to just, remember him. Larry Allen was a phenomenal player, and just one of those things. Sometimes you have to sit back, catch your breath, and realize how short life truly is. So, Larry Allen.
You could say he was the best lineman on the best offensive line of all time.
Oh, absolutely. And when he was up the Niners, he was a little bit older. He was a veteran, but he was still pretty damn good. I remember he was a left guard for us, and he was damn good, man. He was good, right guard or left guard. I can't remember exactly, but I know he was a guard, and he was amazing for the Niners when he played.
As a Cowboy, though, he was a tackle.
Okay, yeah, that's right. And then they moved him to guard when he came to the Niners.
Yeah, and so he was, and I'm arguably the best player on that Dallas offensive line, and I I say that Dallas offensive line was the best offensive line I ever saw before or since. And I've been watching football for a long time. So
yeah, he was amazing. 52, man. It's young. It's young.
Crazy.
I went to celebrate my friend's 50th birthday this weekend. 50. And I was like, still young, you know, but 52. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm 53. I'll be 54 in September. So yeah, it's sobering for me.
Yeah.
And, you know, Raj, it's just, you know, another great reminder when these people want to try and get in these players' pockets and say he's taking too much money. Like, these guys are putting their current and future well-being on the line every time they step on the field. And you cannot get mad at them for holding out for every last penny that they deserve, because you never know when their paycheck will be the last, and you never know, you know, what their quality of life will be like when they retire. So,
yeah, when they hang it up, you don't know, because a lot of them
that's what I was looking for.
Brain injuries, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, shout out to Larry Allen. Prayers up to his family, you know, and his loved ones. It's terrible, tragic, but I wanted to touch on that before we move on. Blood Moon, he says Latu is officially gone. Braden Willis too. Heard that the kid P-Line is good. The undrafted guy from Paladin or Furman. Undrafted, yeah, undrafted tight end, undrafted rookie tight end Mason P-Line. I heard some good things about him also.
Big hands.
Big guy, big hands. As long as he can come in and block and catch, you got a spot on this team.
He just needs to learn how to block, it sounds like. But that can be taught.
That can be taught. You got George Kittle there. He's
as long as you're willing, I think that's the biggest thing. If you're willing, then you will probably learn how to do it in time.
Absolutely. Shout out to the chat real quick. I want to say Rick Diaz, how are we doing? Nathan Banks, Rashad. We got Mr. Breezy up in the building. Rob D, David McNiner, what's good? Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. 49ers faithful forever says the tight end room is iffy at best. Yeah, that's why they went and made this move for Logan Thomas. Had to get a veteran. Yeah, definitely was one of those positions where we're like, still need a tight end. I think Logan Thomas definitely is an upgrade, but I mean, he's not an elite guy. But he, again, just based on what we said earlier, is he now is probably your second best tight end on the team. He's not better than Kittle, obviously, but good stuff, man. Moving forward, there was a big signing this morning. Now, it wasn't a 49ers signing, but it still has some ramifications on the 49ers. There was a man by the name of Justin Jefferson, and his contract. Oh, my God. You want to talk about? He just passed Nick Bosa in terms of per season, annual money on a non-quarterback position. This man, he's getting paid $35 million a year. Justin Jefferson, 4 years, $140 million, 110 guaranteed. That's crazy, man. Definitely a lot of money. He's amazing. He's definitely worth it. But do you think paying a wide receiver that much money is justifiable? He's great. They don't have anybody really to throw it to him. Maybe J.J. McCarthy steps up. But the big picture is, where does Brandon Ayuk land in the spectrum of the wide receivers now that the best wide receiver has finally set his market value, and it's the highest wide receiver, of course, ever all time, and it's the most money paid to a non-quarterback, breaking Nick Bosa's record that he set last year? Like, where do you think Brandon Ayuk stands now? Did this help him? Did this hurt him? What do you think?
Absolutely helps him. Yeah, it's I for a long time, Raj, I would say 24 to 26, 24 to 26. I think, I mean, obviously 24 and 25 are long gone. I think, maybe I'm going to have to up it to like 26 to 28 at this point.
Okay.
I would hate to pay him $28 million, honestly, but I think it might end up being like 27.
Man, that's a lot. So I don't know, because a couple weeks ago there was a report that said that Brandon Ayuk wants like Amon-Ra type range. He wants to be in the Amon-Ra range, and Amon-Ra is getting paid. Was it close to like $30 million a year?
He can walk if he wants Amon-Ra money. He can get it from someone else. So,
but that's what my question is. Is he okay? And Waddle got paid also recently. Yeah. So, like, I mean, I think you're right. I think a few months ago, back in like March when free agency started, Sport Track had Brandon Ayuk at $23 million annually. 23 was a steal. Imagine signing him back then. 23, I remember. And then slowly, it went up. It went up. And then people were saying 26, 27, like you were saying. And now people are saying, okay, maybe like 28. So the fact of the matter is of Justin Jefferson making this contract, like the numbers keep going up. But you have to understand, like, yes, Justin Jefferson's wide receiver 1. He gets the bulk of the targets. Brandon Ayuk, he's a great player, great route runner, but he doesn't get the bulk of the targets. He's a 4th option on the 49ers. So can the 49ers justify paying him $30 million? I don't know. But if he's on another team, he might get that volume, and then he could earn those. So it's so hard to project Brandon Ayuk in terms of where should he be on the spectrum of wide receivers. I think $28 million is a great number for him in between like A.J. Brown, Waddle, and Amon-Ra, like those guys. I don't think he should get paid more than Amon-Ra. I don't think that he's not a good player. I'm not saying that Amon-Ra is better. Just the sheer volume of catches he's going to get.
He's just proven as a wide receiver 1, and Brandon isn't.
Yeah, I agree. It's tough, but it's going to come down to that with Brandon Ayuk's negotiating, and he has this number set, and he's not budging. It's going to become ugly. But I think now with Justin Jefferson setting that mark, it's like nobody should pass Jefferson right now. No wide receiver is better than him, not even CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's going to get close to Justin Jefferson money. But again, he's had the volume. He's like the guy in the Cowboys offense. Brandon Ayuk is amazing, but he's not the guy. Christian McCaffrey is so important. And as much as people want to rag on Deebo Samuel is so important to this 49er offense. So then you can say, you got McCaffrey, you got Deebo, and Ayuk. You can argue who's more important, Ayuk or Deebo. Like, as a pure wide receiver, yeah, Brandon Ayuk's probably a better pure wide receiver. But in Kyle Shanahan's offense, Deebo is so important. So it's tough. But I would pay Brandon Ayuk $28 million. I think that's where his market value is now. But imagine if you would have paid him back in March, you're getting $23 million. That's a steal.
No, he was never going to take it. He was waiting for this. So
yeah,
maybe now that means we can get the deal done before camp. So,
I hope so. I think the Niners got to say, look, we got to hammer this out because you're not getting paid more than Justin Jefferson. I'm sorry, Brandon Ayuk. I love you, but you're not getting paid more than Brandon Ayuk or Justin Jefferson. That's a lot of money. $140 million for a wide receiver is crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I woke up and I saw that, and I'm like, what? I was like the only thing that came out of my mouth was wow. I woke up, barely could even say a sentence, and I'm like, oh shit. I was like, wow. I couldn't believe it. It was crazy. Unbelievable. Holy smokes. I do hope that Justin Jefferson gets or Brandon Ayuk gets paid now that Jefferson got his money, his back. I mean, he's definitely worth it, but still, 140 for a wide receiver, crazy.
Like you said, with nobody even throwing the ball.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Unless you count Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think McCarthy will be tossing the pill at some point early into the season.
I needed a good laugh.
I'm trying to find the list of wide receivers. I know I had it earlier, but let me see. Like the annual, every wide receiver's value. There was maybe.
It was like Tyreek Hill was next at like 31, wasn't he?
I think so. Let me see if Schefter posted it. Let me see. I'm trying to find that list.
And that was a shorter contract.
Oh yeah, man. Look at okay. So this offseason, the wide receiver extensions continue. So far this offseason, multiple wide receivers have landed lucrative deals. The list includes Justin Jefferson, Jalen Waddle got signed last week, extended. Nico Collins, he got a big contract. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Jerry Jeudy, Michael Pittman. So all those guys have been paid. And then he says,
that's right. A.J. Brown got more, right? Didn't he get what did he get, 32?
I think so. I don't know if it was
31.
It was like 30, 31, somewhere around that range. And then still
more than Amon-Ra, though.
He got more than Amon-Ra, I think. I think he's a little
because Amon-Ra was right at 30, right?
Yeah, right at 30. And then still potentially to come. This is what Schefter is showing. So these are the top receivers. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, Amari Cooper, T. Higgins. So in that list, okay, CeeDee Lamb's probably going to get paid more than Brandon Ayuk. Jamar Chase probably get paid more than Brandon Ayuk. Does Amari Cooper get paid more than him? He's been good.
He's old. He's old now.
He's old, but
no.
Okay, so he doesn't get paid more than Ayuk.
Not. No,
and then T. Higgins. T. Higgins shouldn't get paid more than Ayuk.
T. Higgins, maybe because he was a true wide receiver too, and Brandon, straight up hasn't been that. And in a pass happy scheme, or more pass happy scheme, whereas we're more run first. I don't know, unless you're paying for Ayuk's blocking, which I think is valuable. I think
that is very valuable. I agree, but he has had some key drops. As a wide receiver, you got to pride yourself in those things. I'm not saying he's horrible, but like his route running is great. But he has had some key drops. He's made some big catches, but we all know he can improve in that area. Now, David McNiner has a good point. He says Ayuk has one second-team All-Pro nod, no Pro Bowls. He says, I'm with Ted on the price. And if you're going to base it on those type of accolades, I mean, you make a great argument. But this is how it probably is during these talks, when the agent comes and the front office is talking. The front office has to say, hey, look, you only got one second-team All-Pro. You're a fourth option. And then Brandon Ayuk's going to say, hey, look, I'm your fourth option because you have too many damn weapons. If I was on Carolina, I'd have 1,000 catches, 1,000 yards in week 6, something like that. So it's all in how you negotiate.
Yeah, no, I mean, you could make these arguments as the day is long, but it just comes down to what have you proven. And, to Brandon Ayuk's credit, he hasn't been given a chance to prove that he could be a wide receiver one here. And so, I am confident that he can in the right situation, but, not so confident that you should pay him as if he already has. That's really what it comes down to for me. I think there should be at least a bit of a discount for the benefit of the doubt, which is you haven't proven that you're a wide receiver one. And until you do, then, Amon-Ra, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown. These guys are proven wide receiver ones, top 5 guys in the league. I mean, you could throw Jamar Chase in there too. I don't think he's quite as definitively in that group as the others, but he's probably around 5th or 6th in the league.
I think Jamar. I think you could put him in that league. He's amazing. He's definitely proven he's been wide receiver one. Yeah. But they also have had a good cast of receivers out and.
Well, they also have Joe Burrow slinging the rock to him.
Joe Burrow's no piece of sliced, chicken. He's good, man. But I'll tell you this. The Niners could add some incentives, and they can say, hey, look, if Ayuk, you want to make this money, and also the guaranteed money is a big factor. If you want to make all this money, there's got to be some incentives because you're right. Ayuk still has yet to, prove himself that he's, a top-tier wide receiver. I think he's a very good wide receiver, but there's still another level he can ascend to. And if he does reach that, then he'll get more money on incentives. So I think he's on the cusp of being, a elite. He's good. He's super good. He's not elite. He's close. He's close.
I'm with the Invader. The next comment down, Invader 49 says 55 mil guaranteed at signing, 26 APR, probably where Marate is. Actually, I think Parag Marate. I'd love it if we get him for 26. Like I said, I just
26 would be a steal.
That was the top of my original range. Now it's kind of the bottom of my new range.
Yeah.
But where Parag Marate is, though, folks, I think he's in the United Kingdom because I was talking to somebody yesterday who's neighbors with his nanny, and they said his nanny's car hasn't left the driveway in quite some time. So I think the nanny is, not taking care of them because they're not here. So
no, he is actually because he runs Leeds United. He's a big guy. And my buddy who knows him, there's some stuff I know about Leeds and all this stuff and other stuff going on. But he has been there because they had the big tournament this weekend in the last couple of weeks. So he's been focused.
That's where Marate is.
Yeah, that's where Marate is. He's dealing with Leeds United stuff.
Yeah. So it's Lynch. It's John Lynch who's doing
John Lynch is the one right now, man in the front office and everybody else. But when Marate gets back, he'll probably end up trying to take care of this Ayuk deal. Now the big question this week, tomorrow, June 4th through June 6th, mandatory minicamp gets underway. So this is the last time they meet until training camp. It's mandatory. You definitely lose money if you don't show up. The big question, Ted, because they haven't showed up all OTAs, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk. Now, I think Christian McCaffrey, I don't think his issue is that big of a deal, but people are making it a big deal. He's getting married in a couple weeks to Olivia Cupo. He needs time. She's, dime piece, this, that. Let him take his time and focus on the wedding. He's been training. He doesn't need to be their OTAs. But Will Brandon Ayuk be at mandatory minicamp? I'm on it. And yes or no? What do you think?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
And I don't
he's
blame
not.
him. I don't blame him. No, he will be smart and he will not risk injury.
I think he'll show up, but he won't do anything. I think
He'll just be on the sideline like how Debo did, kind of.
Yeah, I think he's gonna do like Debo and just show up, and he's gonna stand there.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think he'll show up.
I can live with that. He will not be practicing, is what I.
Because if you don't show up, boy, you can get fined. And if he's about his bread, you don't want to lose that bread, right?
That's true. That's true.
Because if he doesn't show up, now we got a problem, Ted. If he shows up, it's a good sign. It's a good sign. So we'll see tomorrow. I'm like ready to wake up at 5 a.m. tomorrow to tweet to whatever Adam Schefter tells us. Brandon Ayuk is not expected to sign. Oh my God, 49ers Twitter is going to be a meltdown if that happens tomorrow. I actually can't wait to see what happens. So, Ian Sharp says Ayuk won't get out of bed for $26 million. Jesus, send it to me. I'll be out of bed any time of the day you want me to be for $26 million. Holy smokes. But you're probably right. 28 is probably where we're standing out. So a couple other things to get to. So we all know Drake Jackson had off-season knee surgery. He had a quad muscle surgery. He's been posting updates here and there throughout the last couple of weeks on his Instagram story. Today he posted one on his Instagram story. I'll share it with you. This is a little glimpse of what his knee looks like several months after surgery. We're in June. I think we're about 5 months post-op. He had the surgery in January. So check it out. So there's Drake Jackson working on that, on leg press machine there. Got to see the scar on his knee. I hope good things happen for him, but he's definitely some ways away, man. That's a big surgery, quad muscle surgery. But he captioned it on the top. We're coming, bitch. That's what he says. He's in good spirits, at least. What do you think? Drake Jackson, will he make full recovery? Is he going to be a starter? Will he get a lot of playing time, or is he still going to be buried in the depth chart? What's your take on Drake Jackson? I hope good things for him.
I mean, maybe next year. I think quad tendon tear. That's one of my big four, Raj. Quad tendon, patellar tendon, Achilles, and ACL. Those are like the lower body injuries that lead to other injuries that have long rehab times that, a lot of times you're not yourself for a year. A lot of times you're never yourself again after those type of injuries. And let's face it, he was no world beater to begin with. So I would not put a lot of money on Drake Jackson right now.
Wow. Don't put a lot of money on Drake Jackson. For a while, there was a time where Drake Jackson led the NFL in sacks. I will always remember for that 1 week that he led the NFL in sacks.
He was like leading me for nicknames. I was like Drake Saxon and Saxon Jackson.
Yeah, he had a lot. Saxon Jackson, Drake the Snake,
I was so excited about all those names, and
it's kind of sad to see that. It's kind of sad to see the knee surgery, and I kind of feel like I'm not gonna say he's full out like this, like Javon Kinlaw, but it's kind of taken that same course where knee injuries really kind of wrecking him. Now he doesn't have a history of like arthritis or anything, so he can kind of bounce it, but it is a big injury. I do hope he can kind of bounce back and get back to where he needs to be, but. When you're injured like that, it takes away from your development. So I wish him nothing but the best. It is good to see him in good spirits, but he's got some.
I'll tell you who came back from a quad tendon tear that I was really impressed with was McGlinchey.
Yeah.
He actually had his best season coming back from a quad tendon tear. So let's hope Drake Jackson proves me wrong and has his best season good enough to, keep him on the 53-man roster. Yeah,
I hope so too, Ted. I hope he that's the goal for him. He just needs to make that 53-man roster. My guess is he might start on like PUP or injured reserve. That's kind of the trajectory I see him going right now in this season.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Again, good luck to him. Now, I don't know if you caught this over the weekend. Deommodore Lenor is quite frankly becoming one of my favorite players. He talks a lot of trash, but he's going out there and backing it up. Now, several months ago, not months ago, maybe I guess weeks ago, Willie Snead, former 49ers wide receiver. You remember Willie Snead?
Absolutely, yeah. He badmouthed us on the way out.
He was talking all types of
Wow.
trash for
Yeah.
about the 49. Oh, they're not, the team.
They never gave me a chance.
Yeah, they didn't give me a chance. They don't hold their professionalism to a high standard. They don't, it's hard to progress on this. Whatever. He was crying. They didn't get a chance. But you know what? There's Brandon Ayuk. There's Jauan Jennings. There's Deebo Samuel. You need to show that you're better than those guys. And if you're not, you're going to be bench warmer, whatever. You're getting paid money to play in the NFL still. He complained. He cried. He's entitled. Deommodore Lenor, he said, why are you sneak dissing? Like, he's like, just say what you got to say. Like, don't be dissing on the side, right? He called him out a couple weeks ago, like a couple days after that issue came out. We didn't hear anything of it. Willie Snead deactivated his Twitter, actually, I found out the other day, because Jauan Lenor went live on Instagram.
I hope they bring Snead back so I can strap him up. He just hurt right now. He in his feelings. That's why he over there talking about some. What do you say? I want to go back to the AFC North, different brand of football. Come on, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. They know how he know how physical he is in practice.
So he says, I hope they bring him back so I can strap him up. He said he's in his feelings. I love Deommodore Lenor, man.
I love the hyena. Now, I will say, the AFC North killed us last year.
They did.
The 3 out of 4 of the teams last year in 2023.
Yeah, they did. They did. That was a funny shit, man. Called him out on his live, bro. They asked him, what do you think about Willie Snead? Bro says, bring him back. I want to strap him up. Get him cut off the team again.
Get him, Demo.
I love Demo, man. That guy's too funny. So, yeah, that happened this weekend. I thought that was fun. I had to share that. And today, looks like the 49ers are doing their media day. They take their photos, get all the cool videos and stuff for the Titan, for the Graphic-tron and up there, the Jumbotron. So there's been some postings online. So we saw Malik Mustafa showed a little, video on his Instagram story of him flexing his jersey. We saw Devondre Campbell. So we saw some new stuff from those players. Now, George Kittle also had a little funny moment. I don't know if you saw this.
I'll have you come right here.
So media day. And then Brock Purdy. We saw a little bit of Brock Purdy getting ready for media day. So check this out.
Excellent. Perfect. Good. A couple smiling.
So I love the media day stuff. I'm sure they're going to have a bunch of videos and images coming out soon. But that kind of stuff really gets me hyped. It really gets me going. I can't wait to see all the media stuff, because usually they have like a cool video and it hypes you up for the season. They'll probably drop it in the next couple of days. So media day, 49ers, just another day closer to Niner football. I thought those are cool things to share to the fans.
Remember, Devondre Campbell was my sleeper pick. So
I know. He looks hungry, man. I the more I hear about him, the more I see him, the more I read things about him. He just looks like he's going to be a really solid player. And we talked about injuries with Drake Jackson and stuff. Dre Greenlaw, like, I don't know when he'll come back. I want him to be back for week 1, but it's a big injury. Achilles tear in February during the Super Bowl. It would be crazy for him to come back week 1. I mean, I'm sure he can because he's got that mindset, but I think Campbell's going to be a big part of this team early on, maybe bigger than most people think. So, yeah, I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, no. The 6-month returns from Achilles, Cam was Akers from the Rams. I don't think he's ever been the same since he came back in 6 months. And Aaron Rodgers, what do you play, like a handful of plays? Like that doesn't count. So we'll see what Aaron Rodgers looks like in September. Obviously, week 1 as we host the Jets for home opener Monday Night Football.
I can't wait for that game, man. I'm excited. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see Aaron Rodgers staring down Leonard Floyd, the man. Took him out last year. I can't wait. Leonard Floyd. He looks exciting for this 49ers defense. Another thing I'm going to share real quick. This was pretty funny. I caught this over the weekend. My man Brock Purdy is making a lot of endorsements this offseason, getting a lot of sponsorships. His newest one is quite funny. I'm going to play it for you guys. I don't know if you guys saw this ad this weekend, but here we go.
I lived in the Midwest. Of course I appreciate America's farmers. I married a farmer's daughter. Of course I had to pick corn before her dad approved. I've got a hard work ethic full of early mornings and late nights. Of course I share that with farmers. I played for Iowa State and now the 49ers. Of course I bleed cardinal and gold. I partner with Pioneer Seeds. Of course I know how to excel on the field. On behalf of myself and Pioneer Seeds, thank you farmers for all that you do.
He's getting good at those ads, man. Like, he's like a natural. I remember the first ad he did till now. He might become an actor at some point. I love Brock, man.
There you go. I love
Pioneer
it.
Seeds. If you
Brock,
guys
Brock
are planning,
Landers, eat your heart out. Oh, not that kind of actors.
yeah, I hope he's. Oh, yeah, he's a Christian boy.
That'd be more like Jimmy G, I guess.
Oh man, I love Brock, man. He's such a franchise guy. He's such a good guy. Next year though, he's gonna break the bank. He is going to break the bank.
Speaking of endorsements, I wanted to give a quick endorsement for my new bike channel.
Do it.
It's called Teddy Talks Bikes, all one word. So check it out. I got a few videos up of a ride with my son on a trailer on a really harrowing beach. It was flat, but I tell you, it was the most technical flat ride I've ever done. I did Water Dog yesterday, posted that up, and now I'm about to put up a just like a ride through Menlo Park on a pedal bike. I just figure if people are into this, the clicking noises videos and stuff, maybe they'll just like a quiet wind noise bike video. So, and there'll be other stuff too. There'll be stuff about building e-bikes, also maintaining them, because I'm a bike certified mechanic as well. I put together an e-bike over the last couple of weeks. I got a kit. And I literally built it about 3 times. I built it onto one downhill bike, realized it wasn't going to be suitable. The motor was going to hang too low. So I put it on another downhill bike. And then I've been stealing parts from the first bike over to the second bike. So it's kind of like 3 builds in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun. And I just, just like everything, Raj, me, I just want to like learn, teach, and have some fun doing it. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this bike channel.
There we go. Teddy Talks Bikes. Go check him out. If you're a bike enthusiast, that'll get you right, man. That's dope.
Bikes and e-bikes. Yeah. Pedal bikes and e-bikes, both.
Any bikes. Okay. There we go. I'm excited to check it out. I'll have to go give it a follow. I didn't know you launched it already.
There'll be a lot of trail riding in there too, essentially. Mountain biking.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how it goes. We'll see it grow. My man S the Youngin said you going live with Larry later. I'll be live with him tomorrow. Last week I was just so busy. I didn't even get his notification till late, and I was like working like crazy. I was doing some paperwork at night, and then I saw it. I was like, oh, it's too late. So this week we're back on schedule, Ted. Last week not so hot. I was busy, but we're good. I got everything set up. We're gonna be good for the rest of the week. I'll be live like I usually am.
Let's be honest though, Raj. Like last week, you and I, we would have been like struggling to fill a half an hour last week.
Yeah, honestly, I'm glad we kind of took
flown by.
I needed that day off. It was a holiday too, and
we had breaking news. Triple breaking news, right? I mean, you got Logan Thomas. That's the best news for us. The sad news about Larry Allen passing, and then the huge news of Justin Jefferson being the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah,
a lot of cool stuff to talk about this week. So
there's quite a bit to talk about.
Football gods for making it easier on us this week, right?
Quite a bit to talk about. You know what? Let's talk about this real quick before we end up. So we didn't get to talk about this last week because I didn't have our show last week, and it happened after the fact. But Jauan Jennings, third and Jauan, he's back, baby. They signed him to a 2-year extension. So you remember a couple weeks ago, there was this everybody said, oh, well, did he sign his tender or whatever? He never actually officially signed the tender because they've been working on extending him. And John Lynch had said this several times, they want to keep him longer than just a year. And I think it was a good move. 2 years, you got $10 million guaranteed, $15 million overall. Now, it brings him back so he has another year with us because if they would have just given him the tender and he has another big clutch season, they wouldn't have been able to bring back Jauan Jennings. He's so important. He's a really underrated player. And I think he would have caught some big contract on the market more than the 49ers would have been able to pay. And I think this kind of happened to them a few years back. Kendrick Bourne, really nice, underrated player. he went into free agency and he got a pretty big contract. And I don't think the Niners were willing to pay him, $7.5 million that year. So I think the 49ers learned in this situation, let's go for a 2-year deal instead of giving him the 1-year tender. So it ended up becoming an extra year of extension. And everybody was happy that Jauan Jennings is back. I mean, he probably would have been Super Bowl MVP had we won that game. So I was happy to see Jauan Jennings is back. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's amazing the parallels between him and KB, Kendrick Bourne. They both catch a lot of third down conversions and a lot of touchdowns, an inordinately high percentage of both of those type of catches compared to your regular 5 yards on 1st and 10 type of catch.
Yeah. Big time impact.
But Jennings is a much better blocker, and he's just a dog. And I just love the way he gets under people's skin. And all of a sudden they're punching him after the play, and we're getting a penalty and, move it, personal foul, 15 yards.
Yeah, man. They
it.
he rattles their cage. He gets under their skin. You're right. And it just pisses them off. Then they react. And then they're like, oh crap, we just made a mistake. We should have done it. And that's the thing. He gets in their head. He's physical. Remember last year he throws the guy in the Gatorade bottle, bro? The guy's amazing. I love Jauan Jennings, man. This guy is a fantastic guy. He just does a lot of small intangibles that you don't see on a box score.
Was that CJ Gardner-Johnson? Was that who it was?
I don't remember. It was no, it was the Green Bay game, right?
Oh, okay.
I can't remember who he threw, but he throws them into the Gatorade bottles, and then Kyle after the game's like, oh, that's why we love Jauan Jennings. And he comes in, he has that mentality. He's a scrappy guy, and he'll make big catches if he needs to. But he's always doing something. He's blocking. He's getting under your head. He pisses these players off. He's like the Draymond Green of the 49ers. He's just that enforcer. He's the mouthpiece. And you gotta have those type of guys. I love Jauan Jennings. I need to get me a Jauan Jennings.
On offense, but on defense, it's definitely Dre Greenlaw is Draymond.
Oh,
Green.
yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Ian Sharp says Jennings would be irritating to play against. If I was a defender, I'd hate to play this guy. I'd be pissed off. 7th round guy, so he's going to work harder because he has to prove himself, right? And then he goes out there and he catches a big first down play, after another, moves the chains, makes a big catch. So you're like, all right. And then he pushes you, and then he talks shit to you, and then he pushes you again, then he makes a big catch. If I was a defensive back, I'd say, listen, I'm not guarding this piece of shit. You guard him. I can't handle him. Oh, man.
Whatever works. Whatever gets us over the hump. And I'm glad that we locked him down for a couple of seasons. That's awesome.
I am too. My man Rob says Jennings is going to have that captain patch this season. Oh, maybe that's a bold prediction. I would like to see Jennings as a captain. Yeah, let's see. Any case, I think that's pretty much that's it. That's going to wrap it up. I think that's it, unless you got anything else. But appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Ted. We'll see you next Monday. Back at our regular time next week, 1:30. Unless I get a little behind schedule. I'm a bit busy. But I shouldn't have 3 patients next week on my day off. Maybe 2 in the morning. But we'll be back next week at 1:30.
One quick plug. I've got Ryan from No Border Sports on No BS TED tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. We come at you every week. So thanks in advance. And thanks, Raj. Great chatting it up with you every week. Also, should we tease something for the second half of June or wait?
Let them know. Let them know.
John Pay reached out to me and he'd like to come back on the show with Raj and I. So he said the second half of June he'll be available. So look for that in the next couple of weeks. We'll get John Pay back on here and get some more war stories from him. Nice. He was a fun guy to chat it up with. So we'll have him in a few weeks. We'll let you guys know. Tomorrow I'll be live with Larry sometime in the evening. We like those late night shows, 8 o'clock, 8:30, something like that. Prime time, West Coast time. So I'll be live with Larry. And then rest of the week, be working my butt off. But you guys have a good rest of your day. Appreciate you guys. Logan Thomas, tight end 2, everybody. Have a good night. Woo! Peace.
Woo!
Go Niners.